Thank you. So there's an announcement to the House. Apparently some comments have been coming through to NAS about CPD credits, earning CPD credits. So the NAS has started a process to issue you CPD credits, and this would take effect from 15th of July. However, you will be required to register on the website at actuaries.org.ng, and this will enable them collect the information required and provide CPD credits for those who need these credits. And conferences like this, attendance in conferences like this actually qualify to earning CPD credits. Another announcement will be the FRC. Apparently they (10 a.m. at the Lagos Continental Hotel, Victoria Island. Do make it a point to be a part of this process to be heard. Now, moving on to our next presentation, we would be welcoming a topic on behavioral risk, and this stems from a process of, we want to predict the human behavior. It can be really wonderfully, interestingly, and frustrating sometimes, because the human behavior can be quite unpredictable. However, these form nuances as to decisions being made that influence our decisions around risk selection and also purchasing of insurance policies. And in this regard, we'll be having a presentation by Damilola Oyeniyi. She's an actuarial analyst at Actuarial Insurance PLC, specializing academic and professional foundation. She holds a first-class degree in economics from University of Lagos and is qualified as a chartered accountant with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Damilola's diverse industry experience includes an early foundation in general underwriting at Coronation Insurance. Following her transition into actuarial services in 2023, she contributed to the non-life valuation team at ICO Insurance PLC, gaining key technical insights into IFRS 17 reporting standards before advancing into her current specialization. Grounded and community focused, she also dedicates her time outside of corporate life to serving as a children's church teacher. Please give a round of applause for Damilola Oyeniyi.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to be taking the topic behavioral risks in insurance. Why policyholders do not behave like models. These are our contents. Okay. Yeah, person's not picking.
Tech can be frustrating, sorry. Down.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. So our content is what is behavioral risks and why actuarial models assume rational behaviors. Key area where behavioral risk shows up, example of behavioral risks, business impact, how insurer manage behavioral risks, and then conclusion. So we really do not have so much time. I'm just going to run through because we still have one more tesentation to go. So we started with a perspective on rationality. I am a children's church teacher as previously read in my Bible, and one thing I like about children is how honest they are. And in the light of that, I want us to start with just a few survey, like a very simple survey. So please, if at any point in time, maybe when you were doing your subscription or when you were opening your bank account, you took time to read the terms and conditions from the beginning to the end. Please, can you raise your hand up? Well, I also did not do that. Okay. So according to the classical economists, they believe or they assume that humans, that means everyone in this room, we are all rational beings. So what it means that we have complete information and then we process it to make financial decisions. These decisions are supposed to guide us into knowing what we are supposed to do. But seeing that neither of us has read the terms and conditions, with hopes and belief that we are not going to sign our life savings away. We are just trusting that the financial institution will do what is right. So according to philosopher Bertrand Russell, he says man is a rational animal. So at least I have been told. Throughout a long life, I have looked diligently for evidence in favor of this statement. But so far, I have not had the good fortune to come across it, though I have searched in many continents, in many countries spread over 3 continents. So what is he trying to say? He's trying to say that we humans in our world, we are guided by different things other than being rational. To be rational means that you take care of yourself, like you put yourself first, and that's what most people do. We put ourselves first, and we look at every other opinions that we have, every options, and we evaluate it critically before taking decision. It also says that we have access to complete information. I'm sure maybe when we're doing economics, they tell you that the classicalists assume that you have perfect knowledge of the market. And also, they also assume that whatever you do, you're going to be maximizing utility. But models are built on logic, and our human behavior is not. We are built on fear of what would happen if I step out, what would go on tomorrow. We're always anticipating, thinking. And we also build on financial pressure. I'm sure since this current administration or post-COVID, the standard of living in Nigeria had increased beyond reasonable doubt, and we don't want to remain where we are. So we're trying to always meet up, doing one side hustles or the other. And another one, we are built on trust and emotion. Different things go on in our mind. But for models, models is basically built on logic. We are assuming that this is how humans should behave. The point where actual human, deviates from our evaluation, pricing, and assumption is what is called behavioral risks. So while policyholders' behavior is very important in insurance business, it's because we use it in every aspect, from product design to pricing to marketing and distribution, ERP, and financial reporting. What the behavior of the policyholder would tell us if our top line or bottom line is going to hold. So we might have a good top line, and then by the time you are coming to the bottom line, you are seeing that there is a big difference. It does not make sense to you. But these studies have shown that insurance purchase and retention decisions are strongly influenced by behavioral and psychological factors. So, I'm sorry, I have to rush through this slide because of time. And this deviation can significantly affect insurance profitability. Like I said, you have a whole, your top line, let me just use IFRS 4, which is your gross written premium, is standard, is good. But by the time you are looking at your net profit, you don't even know where all the money has gone for. It affects your reserve adequacy, capital projection, and solvency. So the beautiful things about every actuary that I have met in this journey, every actuaries that I have met in this journey, is that they are all smart people. Like, they are very smart. But then, why do these smart people have to assume rational behavior for humans that are emotional? Why? And it is because of, just imagine that you want to build like a 20 years cash flow projection. You're not going to be assuming what everybody, incomes look like. You just have to take the average and work with it. And by doing that, the actuaries have worked hand in hand with the assumption of the economists. And, the first thing that they say is that people are risk aversive. What does this mean? It means that I would rather put a small amount consistently in one space than to, after a model, we are saying that policyholders would rather pay a consistent flow premium in this regard of money rather than, trading off for one unexpected financial loss. And we also assume utility maximization. Yeah, it means that when we want to make this decision, we think in our head logically that, okay, what is the cost benefit of this particular thing that I am buying? So there's this story that I heard during my graduate training days of a man who had a junior colleague, and then the junior colleague had a brother who was an agent. He sells insurance. And so the junior colleague introduced this brother to a senior colleague who happened to be his manager. And the manager said, "Oh, I am buying this thing so that you will not suffer, or at least you will not beg. Shall take, enjoy the commission." And there, the guy sold him bundled insurance. So he had mortgage, he had health insurance. Then health insurance was still part of insurance. He had school fees, he had whole life. He just told him everything. And few years down the line, the man died. So of course, the junior colleague told his brother that, Oga has died, though, let's go and pay condolence visit. And when they got there, the woman was just crying. And she said, this house is on mortgage. I don't know what to do. What is going to happen to me? My children, I can't afford their school fees. I am a living mom. I don't do anything. And then, the agent spoke to her and said, oh, your husband thought he was doing me a favor, but look at what happened now. At that point in time, even if the man thought that he was going to be he was just giving him commission, a part of him was like, I'm just giving you for commission's sake. There is something that makes us to assume that he has weighed the cost benefit. Nobody wants to throw money away. Everybody feels like you should get the reward for their money. There's no free money. There's no free lunch, even in Freetown. And another thing is complete information processes. We assume that everybody, I've read the wordings, we have read the exclusions, we understand everything, and then we are buying what we need, the insurance coverage that we need. We are not overbuying or we are not underbuying. And the need for mathematical consistency. In actuarials, we deal with large numbers. Like there are what the last presenter showed, it's just a graph, but there are millions of points, there are millions of samples in that. So we can't, like I said, go to meet every sample object to say, oh, I want to, model you as a person. We just have to look at the average. And in doing that, the only way we can do is through modeling. And then this is how we are able to translate human psychology into manageable data. So our assumption simplifies complex human behavior into predictable parameters, allowing actuaries to qualify losses into market competition and maintain insurance solvency to pay future claims. So through the models, we're able to say, okay, this is the premium that you would pay, and these are the expected claims that we're expecting over the years. So now, where are the key areas where this behavioral risk shows up? So imagine in 2015, Nigeria was very good in 2015, and somebody was going to buy a 30 years policy. So automatically, the policy would elapse by 2045. And then post-COVID, we all know what happened. Things became very expensive. Some people got out of job. This policyholder would not say, oh, because of the reward that I want to gain in 2045, I'm going to, keep paying my premium and not pay my child's school fees. Or I'm going to keep paying my premium and not put food on the table. At that point in time, one thing that they would usually do is to say, oh, please, I want to surrender this premium, or they stop paying the premium for the policy. And this leads to lapse of surrender behavior, premium persistency reduced because there is missed premium over time. People don't even have that spare money in order. So there is this saying in Yoruba, they will say, Enito Yolora insurance. It means that it's somebody that have eaten. Someone that's eaten to his field that is buying insurance. So if you don't even have enough, you can really spare to buy insurance. And we have anti-selection after health challenges. These cases like this, it is, I'm even going to say for people that have sedentary lifestyles, like you go to work in the morning, you are seated all through, and then in the evening, you go back home, and the next day, and it continues like that. I'm reminded of one of my colleagues, you know, she woke up one morning, every other day, she was coming to the office, and then she had a crack, call a bone. What happened? She just sat down slowly. Throughout that day, she could not sit, she could not stand. She had a spinal pain. Like, it was so painful, she could not do anything by herself. And then, I remember, you know, when we were working, I would tell her that, stand up now, take a stroll, do this one, go and eat. She would say, don't worry, when I'm due with this tax, I'll go and eat. So when she called me that day, and she said, oh, I won't be coming to the office. She was crying, but I was laughing. So I told her, I said, see, madam, if anything happens to you, they will just do 2 minutes and God forbid 1 minute silent, and then work continues. So one thing about this anti-selection after health challenges is, in best believe that we have health insurance, and I've been telling her that go for checkup, but you know, today I'll go, tomorrow I'll go, or next tomorrow I'll go. So what most people do when they are not feeling fine is that humans hold secrets, is that maybe an agent has been telling them, buy this insurance, buy whole life insurance or anything, or buy health insurance. They'll be like, okay, I will buy. And the moment they feel anything in their body that is not, what they do is they go to